So there's been a lot of talk over the last couple of weeks about the various drones that have been spotted and the idea of disclosure. Are we going to move into that? Is that what we're going to experience throughout 2025? And there's lots of speculation on that, so I'm just going to throw my hat into the ring here a little bit because it is something that I have channeled on quite a lot. I've had different people ask me questions to Pleiades whilst I've been channeling about this subject, and one of the main questions is, are they UFOs? Are they alien craft, or are they created by us? And the answer that they gave, specifically with the New Jersey drone at the beginning of this kind of period of these sightings, was that it was a human-made craft, and that there is a very strong interconnectedness between the various deep states and their influences. And they were saying basically these different countries, they work together a lot more at deep state level than many of us think they do. So even if you're very much into kind of conspiracy and you're aware that there is this element there, they were saying it's a stronger network, and countries that often pertain to be warring with each other are in fact not, and that there's a lot of internetworking in order to kind of keep the control and in fact increase the control that they have over populations and people. And they have, one of the other questions was, well, are they going to show themselves this year? Are like different ET races going to show themselves this year? And Pleiades said it's possible. It's something that they know might come into being this year, depending on the trajectory of our consciousness, because humanity is rising in consciousness and therefore able to assimilate that kind of information more easily. It is something that they might do, but they are at the moment kind of waiting to see where things are going for us and how we react to different levels of rising consciousness. But they are also aware that it's something they may have to do, like that their hand may be forced sooner than they want it to be in this, depending on firstly what the deep states do, whether they start producing a lot of technology and revealing it to us as alien invasion. If that starts to happen, then the higher frequencies, the benevolent ET races, know that they may have to come forward and say, actually, no, this is not, like, that's not ET, this is not what's going on here. The other aspect to that is that some of the craft that we might see is from the Draco system. And if you don't already know about the Draco system, I'm not going to do a whole talk about this now because it's going to distract too much from the information. I have done posts about it before and there's quite a lot out there. But the Draco system is one that is influential in the experience of humans in a negative way. It's very much about control. And one thing that Pleiades have specifically told me about this is that there are planets within the Draco system that, and a lot of their realities there are in a similar vibrational frequency to what Earth has been in and is now moving out from. And that's why really we're kind of able to experience them in the way that we are. There's like a nebulous connection there, an energetic resonance, which is how they're able to affect us, because if we were in a much higher frequency on Earth, then they literally wouldn't be able to come into our energetic vibration and therefore affect us in any kind of way, because essentially they move into a different dimension, like as you change your frequency. And they have spoken about there being a coup within the Draco system, because much like on Earth, the people that are, or the beings that are living there, are being moved into higher states of consciousness. And that's to do with some of the galactic movement, some of the movement of the cosmos, but also it's like a morphic resonance with Earth, because they're in similar resonances. As one starts to raise in consciousness, then the other also is triggered to do the same. So you have the leaders of the Draco system and the leaders of the Earth system both not wanting to, or not necessarily, sorry, the leaders of the Earth system, but the deep state kind of levels of control, both are wanting to hold on to the control that they have, and therefore they help each other. And so that's why we might start to see some craft from Draco that will put us into states of fear if we allow it to, and that is the key component here, is if you allow it to, because they all want to manage to hold on to the control that they have enjoyed so far, which is why higher frequency beings like those from Pleiades, and then you've got the involvement of the Galactic Federation here, are ready to show themselves should they need to, so that we are able to form a good relationship with ETs rather than instantly be put into the paradigm of fear and therefore have our whole kind of human ascension process, which is well on its way and we're really raising in frequency, rather than have that destroyed. I have heard some people say that there are Galactic Federation ships in the vicinity. I'm not so sure about that, because I think a lot of those kind of craft are able to travel in a way that means they don't need to be hovering and waiting. They can instantly move here if they need to. Their technology is far superior to ours, and a lot of the beings on those ships as well, or from those different star systems, are very high frequency beings that can travel in light body and then appear in a more physical form when they need to. So I don't think it's really necessary for them to be kind of outposted. Although I was shown one thing, which was, and this was in a different part of the universe, something that looked kind of like a planet, but it was like a living, it was artificially created, but it was a living system, so it had lots of natural organisms on it, and there were different ET races living there, and it was a very, very high frequency kind of planet, and they told me that it was placed there, and there are others placed in different areas, because the beings and the life forms that are on those places are at such high frequency that they have a resonant effect on the other planets that are nearby. So they station those things in order to help us, or whoever they're, like whichever star system they're trying to affect, that to help them raise in consciousness and raise in vibration, so that they can go through that transformation process. So I do believe that there are these kind of outposts, but they're not just above Earth waiting to suddenly appear, because I don't think that it's necessary for them to do that. So take it or leave it. That's a little takeaway that you can have from this. I do think that shit is not about to get real. It's about to get highly illusory. And the more help that we can get with navigating these different realities that are going to be projected onto us, the better. So follow your intuition, go into your heart space, and if you want to have some more guidance or listen to more of what Pleiades have said about this is a very, very condensed version in this video. Then listen to some of my previous channelings. They're available on YouTube, also through Standstore. The link to both of those are in my bio. You can watch the channelings as well, so if you really want to get a feeling as to whether it feels genuine to you and whether it resonates, then watch the actual channelling, and there are some audio files for that as well, so go check it out. Thanks.